This is Ed McManus again, back at the Monomoy Regional High School building site for our 2-week update on progress here. Today accompanying me is Mike Morrison with Skanska, another one of our project managers who are doing such a great job in keeping this project on track and making sure the quality is up. Mike, can you tell us what's from this view, what's the recent progress this year, this last 2 weeks?
Yeah, so as you can see there, that main structure right ahead of you is the elevator shaft that they've recently installed. And then to the left, a little further, is the firewall, which the masons obviously installed. That goes all the way down that Main Street corridor, which we'll see on the other end. So that's a very important step that they've taken in the past few weeks.
Great. And then over here, something we've been looking at occasionally is the little mock-up panel that's nearing completion. This is a small section of wall that they build to test out and make sure all the materials go together, that they have all the flashing details worked out, because once it's all put together, if it leaks, you don't really want to ever have to take it apart. So this is their test site. So with that, we'll take a break and move around the building to a different view and show you some of the progress. Okay, we've moved back around to which will be the right side of the school as you face it from the front. And this is the area where we have the cafeteria, or this is the back of the kitchen area. Behind me is the loading dock. To bring in food and supplies, and behind that is, you can see the fly loft, which will be for the theater, which will allow for some very professional theatrical productions of our drama program. They'll be able to lift scenery up and out of the way to change between acts, which will provide a lot more options for them. The lower structure behind is where the music and drama practice and rooms will be. And if you look sort of through, you can see the stepped seating for the upper seating in the auditorium. That auditorium will be seating 580 seats, so we'll be able to have a good-sized audience and be able to not only support our drama programs well, but also have enough audience to be able to afford to bring in some nice acts from out of town. Mike, over here we've developed some of the parking lot, and over on the other side of the trees there is the bicycle path, but what else is coming in from there?
Right, so you can see there's a small area where they cleared some trees, because off that large pole on the other side is where the main electrical to the building will be coming and eventually being fed to the generator pad and the transformer pad over by the loading dock. And you can see, and as you mentioned, a lot of this area has been prepped with some base material for the binder course that will be going on this road and parking lot area. And they're also prepping for a slab pour in the band and chorus room. That's what you see is the yellow material and that lower structure right in front of us. So there's a lot of work going on in this area here.
And one of the important things about bringing in the power here from the bike path is you can see how short a run it is over to the building, and it'll save us a fair amount of money having to bring in the run from Oak Street, which would have been a long trenched run. And it's small things like this that our architect and our project manager are pointing out that are bringing down the cost of the eventual finished product. With that, we'll take a break and move over towards the gymnasium. Here we've come around to the left side of the building, and this is the area where the gymnasium is. The gym has around it the locker rooms and exercise rooms. As you can see, the flooring in there is, they're just getting ready to pour the concrete slab tomorrow. They've poured the slab in the gymnasium last week, was it? Yep. And over, if you keep on panning around, you can see the academic wing. They've started studying it up and are finishing off the roof framing and starting to hang the sheathing. What are they using for the sheathing on the walls?
It's dense glass. It's a product by Georgia Pacific, and that'll go all the way up from the bottom to the top, and they've actually progressed further with that in the courtyard area because they're going to try to finish that area first and back out of it. So in the courtyard, they'll have that that sheathing, that yellow board you saw, all the way up, and they'll be working around all the elevations of the courtyard, and then eventually bouncing out and finishing up the exterior. So
what goes over that?
There's an air vapor barrier process that gets applied to that to kind of prevent the moisture from penetrating through the building. And then outside of that, you'll eventually have your insulation and more brick veneer as well. And then also the windows, you can see the openings for the windows will eventually get placed in those openings.
Great. All right. And if the camera person sort of turns around, you can see the initial layout of the what will be the rear parking lot. This was important to get in place, so as we progress after the school year start, all the craftspeople will have a place to move in their containers and trailers and park, because as we get more of the building closed in, the number of trades that will be showing up are going to magnify, and at some point we'll probably hit a total number of folks working on the building at any one time of somewhere around 120, 140, 150 workmen. And it'll be
schedule, but it could be that much.
Be quite a hive of activity. Anyway, we'll take a break, and I think we'll just walk over and take a look at the progress on the field. Okay, here we are. We're over at the new field, where they're still, at this point, progressing, putting down the track, the new track. They have the edges of the field taped off so the material doesn't get onto it. Mike, can you explain what the process is here?
Yeah, so this is a 6-layer process of rubber and kind of a glue adhesive that kind of ties it all in together, and each layer requires workers to rake it and get all the excess material off of it. Right now, I believe they're finishing up their 5th layer and will be starting the 6th layer shortly after. So it's a very, very painstaking process, but it's coming along great, and they're moving along with it. So that's the process for the track surfacing. And then eventually, after that's all finished up, they'll come back and stripe it and put the numbers in and get it ready for use.
Okay. And when do we expect this to be finished?
That's not exactly finalized yet. I think it's weather pending.
Okay.
Depending on the rain, we need kind of dry weather to get this finish coat on. So the exact date hasn't been tied down yet, but we're hoping to get all this stuff tied in before the.
But we're probably looking a couple weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Before the athletics start.
Okay. And with that, I know we're running in the power for the lights and the scoreboard to have those hopefully up and running the beginning of school, and so we can have that all running for when we start having games on it. And based on that all coming together, I think we may look at changing some of our schedule and times for some of the football games to have them in the evening rather than late afternoon, which would be really exciting because obviously evening games make it a lot easier for the community to come out and watch. So, all right, with that, I think we'll take a wrap here and see you in 2 more weeks. We're planning on coming in late in the afternoon when the workmen have wrapped up their day, and we'll be able to walk around inside and show the progress in there. From Monomoy High School, this is Ed McManus and
Mike Morrison.
Thank you, and see you in 2 weeks.